Facebook Live. And here we are live on YouTube. We are now live YouTube Comedy Schools channel. And, of course, live on Comedy Schools Radio Network.com. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, moms and dads, children of all ages. My name is Tony Viicich. The name of the show is Living on a Thin Line with Tony Viicich. That is the entire title. That's even when I say I'm Tony Viicich, I still have to say Living on a Thin Line with Tony Viicich. Actually, there's no legal compulsion to do that. I just am saying it to be annoying. So, which is, you know what? That is my my true gift in life. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 2 p.m. This is your daily distraction for all the anger and hoopla going on in the world today. Good to be here. You know what? Every day it's good to be here. All right. Every day I count my, I don't want to say count my blessings. I don't want to say that. Hello, Tina and Mike. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I don't want to say count my blessings. That would, I always have people go, I'm truly blessed. And I go, do you think that's it? Did God look down and went, you know what? We're going to put you in a 3,000 square foot home because of something wonderful you did in life. And if you don't keep saying I'm blessed all the time, he'll take it away. Is that what you think will happen? And if you believe that, do you believe in alien demon seed? I appreciate the good fortune in my life. You know, I'm well aware of the misfortune in my life, and I work to make sure that whatever I can do to correct whatever part of my misfortune I've been responsible for, I correct it, and the rest I can do nothing about. But I feel very fortunate through this time to still be able to be with you here every day. Someone who is not with us anymore is Herman Cain. Herman Cain was 74 years old. Herman Cain ran for president in the Republican Party a number of years back. He stumbled badly with his 999 plan, some sort of weird tax plan that didn't add up whatsoever. Herman Cain at one time was the CEO of, I believe, Little Caesars Pizza, and turned that country, helped turn that company into a mega company that became worth a fortune. It became a brand known throughout America. That was the good news about Herman Cain. The bad news about Herman Cain was, like so many who at one time were discriminated against, like so many who as an individual but are in the group that they were with was denied the normal opportunities that this country and system of government offers. That once Herman Cain was able to achieve success, he then became like the people who were denying him. Such an intelligent guy, such a smart guy. Yet he insisted on going to these rallies and not wearing a mask. I understand that an 18, 19, 20-year-old got to get out and do something, man. I don't understand it in a 74-year-old man. And sadly enough, Mr. Herman Cain, former presidential candidate, advisor to Donald J. Trump, passed away, I believe, this morning from a coronavirus. So we send out a heartfelt condolences to his family and friends. I believe it is also something we can always learn from our misfortunes or misfortunes of others, not to gloat over them, but to learn from them. What we have learned from the misfortune of Herman Cain is wear a mask and avoid crowds. Wear a mask and avoid crowds. We're going to beat this thing. What it's going to take to beat this thing is for the seriousness of it to become undeniable to the deniers. For the seriousness of it. You know, on the one day we had the so-called, and I say so-called, I don't use the term frontline. Frontline doctors. Hold on, I got to read this. It's a different thing. I don't think it was sent to us. No, that's a different YouTube video. One thing that that's what's going to have to take place is that it's going to have to be undeniable to the deniers. The so-called frontline doctors out making their pitch in front of the Supreme Court the other day. A bunch of people were in white coats. None of them epidemiologists. None of them experts in infectious disease. Some of them, yes, all of them doctors. Some of them eye doctors. You know, making wild claims about masks don't work and that hydrochloroquine is the answer. By the way, if hydrochloroquine is the answer, then Donald J. Trump could have his massive rallies his massive Republican conventions. He could have them because we would have the cure. That'd be simple. All right, it'd be like, let's get a flu shot. We're going to go to this mass rally. If we get COVID, we're just going to take a whole bunch of Hydra, whatever it is, and then we'll be cured. But it's not a cure. So on one day, those of us who are just trying to be reasonable about all of this are fighting all that misinformation, and people won't believe us. And the next day, someone who is somewhat of a denier of the seriousness of the disease, the Honorable Herman Cain, unfortunately succumbs to it. So wear a mask. Avoid crowds where you can. Wash your hands. And I say wash. You know, that might be the problem. I think that maybe the instructions being given to the American public at large are not being given in a way that makes them really listen. So if you tell people, wash your hands, you're going to, you know what? Shut up. You don't get to tell me what to do. You know what? Wash your hands. Wash your hands. If you were to have someone going, look here, stay away from me. Stay away from mine. We're all going to get together to hold down sooner or later. It's going to be later. Y'all keep wanting to run around and touch butts with each other at some sort of disco. So stay away from me, stay away from mine, and wash your hands. Wash them. Then I think more people would listen because there's the voice of gravitas. That is the voice of gravitas. All right, this show is built around three things, ladies and gentlemen, three fun things. One of them is your questions and comments as you join us here on Facebook Live, on YouTube Comedy Schools, or on ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com, where we try to answer our comment back in the most fun way possible. Unless he has a serious question, then we'll answer the goofiest way possible. It's that. Also, it's built around me showing you some artifact, memorabilia, curiosity, memento that I have laying around here in the home office and try to build something of a story around it. And we recommend two albums, two pieces of music, or two artists based on our vast vinyl album collection. So, and I've got some good stuff for you today. Let me address the ongoing living on a thin line controversy that I have to deal with on a daily basis. And I'm glad that Kevin Brown is here because he is now, Kevin Brown, who I think the world of, is now throwing gasoline on the fire when it comes to the bobblehead controversy here at Living on a Thin Line. I have shared with my audience, with my viewers, something like 40 bobbleheads. Not shared them with you, not like, hey, you know, you get to rub it, I get to rub it. I've shown them to you. I've talked to you about them. And then people started calling me a bobblehead collector. I am not a collector. I am a curator. I am a rescuer. We rescue bobbleheads. We are now the official Facebook Live show for bobblehead rescue. Bobbleheads that are usually someone gets them at a ball game. You know, they're sold at a ball game, and you give them to your kids, and the kids love to put them in the house. Then the kids get older and don't care about them anymore, and then they end up shoved back in the closet, and then they get them in a landfill. We rescue these bobbleheads before they reach the landfill. We give them the love and attention that each and every bobblehead deserves. So to say I'm a collector is false. And then Kevin Brown, who's watching, I see you, you cannot hide, okay, puts up a thing with a jogger last night. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm a busy man. I need my rest. But as I was checking Facebook to see who I should be pissed off at before I go to sleep, I came across a video that Kevin Brown put up of a guy doing various types of runs, okay, running like this, running like this, running like this, you know, and saying it's this kind of run, that kind of run, and then was the bobblehead. And then gathering up those who are my enemies when it comes to this bobblehead controversy. Go, hey, you think Tony Viicich runs like that because he collects bobbleheads? I do not. Hold up, Cheryl. I want you to, if you could do me a favor, just right over there, you can see the medallion on the yellow. Could you bring that over? So I don't run anymore. So by the way, this video, this comical video showing all these different ways that people run. None of them apply to me. I'm not a bobblehead runner because I don't run. But I did at one time run. Look at that. Look at that. Read it and weep. I did run the LA Marathon one time. And that's when I thought I was old. That's it. That's what you get if you run the LA Marathon. When I thought I was old at 50. At 50, I thought, man, I want to run one, you know, and if I don't do it now, I'll never be able to do it. All right, but there it is. I ran the LA Marathon. Okay, and by the way, if you look at this video, Kevin Brown is watching right now, and he's laughing. You're laughing. I see you. I see you laughing. For those of you watching, like Kevin Brown, go to his page. First off, he's a very funny comic. As a comic, goes by the name Kev the All-Star, and I think that is an appropriate name for him. I truly do. Go to his page, and you'll see this video he put up. This guy doing all these different types of running. And by the way, one is the floppy hand, the shaky legs, the stiff arms, all of that. Let me tell you something. If you're going to run a 26-mile marathon at the age of 50, when up until the time you trained, you never ran any further than 5 miles, you will run every version. You'll be the floppy leg. You'll be the floppy arm. You'll be the straight leg. You'll be the bareback. You'll be the guy running forward. You'll be all of it because you'll be in pain from about a half mile in. Daniel Bro says, play Freebird. You know, Daniel, you put that up all the time. Lord, you can't change. Lord, you can't change, Daniel Bros. Listen, Daniel, if I stay here with you, boy, would you? If I were to leave you, would you still remember me? Mike Lawson says, I can remember you running when we played sandlot football as kids, and you would run over our ass. Man, you know what, Mike? One of my fondest memories from all of us weird kids. Most of you don't know the Lawsons, but the Lawsons were my pals. We didn't start out as pals. We started out like most kids in the country, where we all had to run up, punch each other in the nose a couple times. Then we became buddies. And Mike, were you there the night at the High Ridge homecoming when out of nowhere I was yelling at my brother Jerry because he was supposed to meet me at a certain place at the High Ridge homecoming because we had to be home or we get in trouble. And I was yelling at him because he was late. That Emery Sproul, who was like 2 or 3 grades above us, out of nowhere punched me in the nose and broke my nose. And all of a sudden, it was you and your brothers and me just beating the shit out of all of them. Do you remember that, Mike? And one of my fondest memories, buddy, by the way, and it's flashing in my head right now, is all of us as kids, I believe, playing in your front yard. You know, and all of us played. We did some fun stuff. Were you with us the time that we broke into that barn and threw all the hay off the top of it? We're diving out of the barn, just going through the sky and landing in hay. We had some good country times. But I remember playing. The late Emery. Yeah, Emery is no longer with us. That's what he gets for punching me in the nose when I was 15. He was like 18. That bastard. By the way, his girlfriend. I won't say his name here, her name now, but she's become a very accomplished woman. A woman who, I think she scratched your brother Billy because your brother Billy jumped on him, was like hanging on him up in the air, punched him in the head. Did we get caught breaking into that barn? I know this show's now become for no one except for me and Mike Lawson. That's fine with me. I don't remember if we got caught. Did we get caught? Maybe you guys went back. Maybe we got caught. I don't know. All right. There was some fun stuff. I have run. Okay. I do not collect bobbleheads. We're going to go a little short today, but man, I've been having fun just talking about this. Okay. We're going to get right to the music. This counts as the thing that we showed you today. No bobblehead. There it is from 2005, which I can't believe that's 15 years ago right now. 2005. Okay. I ran the LA Marathon. My brother Jerry's ran about 90,000 marathons. He helped train me for this particular marathon. And what I remember is I was finally across the finish line. He was already hanging out, eating a hot dog, changed clothes. I think he'd gone home and watched some television. It took me forever to finish that. Let's talk about the music so that anybody who will be watching later will be able to check in on this. I'm going to talk about a couple cool albums here right now. Hey, a couple things. Okay. We have coming up this Sunday night a Tony Viicich Presents, but I haven't really promoted it yet. We got that coming up. But what you want to do, if you're watching this now or you're going to watch it later, you want to go to comedyschools.com, check out what we do, attend one of our free intros, or sign up for our beginning stand-up comedy workshop. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. You'll be glad you did. That's about all the advertisement I have today. I'm going to show you 2 albums here, and one comes from the 60s, and it's this album. And that, of course, is Simon and Garfunkel, okay, early on. And this is Bookends, I don't really know where it goes in the discography of Simon and Garfunkel, but it has songs that became the soundtrack to all of our lives. Of course, the hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. I am. Man, did you see that on YouTube? You didn't see it on Facebook. Mrs. Robinson, okay, from the motion picture The Graduate. Okay, really great tune. My favorite tune on this album, if you want to listen to Simon and Garfunkel, really kind of captured the mood of the baby boom generation just as they were becoming young adults, just as they were leaving high school or going into college or graduating from college, of young people coming into America during that tumultuous time. And I think the song that really captures that time is their song, America. I'll come to look for America. I love the line, the thing, there's like a rise on a line. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. We all come. It just so much captures a new young generation spreading its wings throughout the country and looking for the ideal and the dream that we had been told America was when we were in school. I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm not saying that it isn't. But our generation's search for that American dream. I've never heard a song that more captured what it was like than that song, America. So if you haven't listened to it in a while, if you haven't listened to Simon and Garfunkel in a while, I don't blame you if you haven't. Listen to the song America. YouTube that, America. Other great songs on here, of course, were let me see, there were big hits. Were Mrs. Robinson, of course, Hazy Shade of Winter, which man was so evocative. That's what Simon and Garfunkel would do, just write this incredibly evocative music. Produced by Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. Songs by Paul Simon. So some of them were written by him and Art, but Paul was the writer. They were an incredible duo who seemed to show up just at the right time for a young America coming of age. Okay, and wrote a lot of the soundtrack for that journey from leaving childhood into young adult into full-scale adult. Art Garfunkel later on went on to have a interesting recording career. Beautiful tune, I Love You and That's All I Know. Paul Simon, of course, after Simon and Garfunkel, continued to flourish incredibly as a songwriter and singer. Art Garfunkel also was in a movie, not The Graduate. What was it with Carnal Knowledge? Carnal Knowledge, written by cartoonist and author Jules Pfeiffer, brilliant guy, starring Jack Nicholson and Art Garfunkel and Candice Bergen. That movie captured a generation coming of age, now grappling with adulthood and trying to find their own way, sometimes making more mistakes than the previous generation that they did not want to listen to. Okay, so Art Garfunkel continued to have success, and did Paul Simon. But this album bookend just has these 2 or 3 incredible songs. America, Mrs. Robinson, which gets played to death, okay, and Hazy Shade of Winter. But America, YouTube that, and tell me that's not a fantastic song. Here they are, 2 young men already beginning to ride a crest of success and create a new form of music for a new generation. Now, this next album is kind of a weird album, all right? So it's kind of hard, and I'm just showing you the picture that I'll read to you what it is. The name of this album, and I don't know where I got it, is Redneck Mothers. Now, this predates the outlaw country explosion. So what was the outlaw country explosion? Sometime in the mid-'70s, an album came out called Outlaws, and they had it was a sampler of Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Jerry Jeff Walker, Jesse Coulter. God, who was the other guy on it? Something Paul. All right. And it exploded. It was like disco, in that all of a sudden it was everywhere. And it became the music for guys like, I'm not speaking for you, Mike, but guys like us, people who thought we were hippies, thought that we were, counterculture people, but we're still living kind of in a rural existence, okay, and still close with our families and our friends. And there was that weird hybrid of sort of a redneck lifestyle and sort of hippie-ish culture, which meant that we said y'all and drank beer and smoked pot, I think, and listened to Skinner. But right before that big explosion, there was a lot going on underneath. All right. And this album really has some of the top songs of sort of the outlaw country underground. One is, of course, I'm trying to look and see who wrote this. Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mother. Now, if you want to hear a song, when I was a young guy in my early 20s drinking in bars in St. Louis, Missouri, there was always live music. Live music was a thing. Okay, either bands or duos, folk music. This is for the comedy explosion, kind of pushed all that away, by the way, which came, late 70s, early 80s, mid 70s. And Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mother was a song that everybody loved. Up against the wall, redneck mother. And there was a part where everybody's drunk in the bar and they go, mothers who have raised their children so well. And everybody in the bar go, so well, so well, so well. And we just thought that was funny as hell. And I believe that version was done by Jerry Jeff Walker. And apparently it was written by, was it written by Bobby Bear? We're going to look and see. I always thought it was written by Jerry Jeff Walker. I'm going to see if I can find it. Bear with me. Rednecks, whites. I can't really find it. Let's look on this side over here. Oh, wow. It was written by one of the most unheralded yet great country outlaw country guys all the time, Ray Wiley Hubbard. He wrote Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mothers. So that was a tune that all of us, we all had long hair. We all wore bell bottoms. We all saw the Rolling Stones and Leonard Skinner. We all loved rock and roll, but we liked some of that country music too. Okay, this was one of the songs that let it merge. Of course, Rednecks, White Sox, Blue Ribbon Beer is on here. And Whiskey River, done here by the Tennessee Pulley Bone. I don't know who and a version of Tobacco Road. All right. So this album kind of captures what was going on before it really became a national thing. It became apparent to everyone. The title of the album is Redneck Mothers. It's all songs about rednecks, but long-haired rednecks, hippies. I mean, kind of look at the back here. So if you see the way that guy looks with the mustache and the hair, that was, you could get your ass kicked for looking like that at a certain time in the late 60s or so. That was considered long hair. What are you, some sort of, are you a boy or a girl? Or the famous line, of course, from Easy Rider when Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda walk into a diner someplace down deep south, a bunch of real rednecks are sitting there staring at him. One of them goes, hello, the boys or girl? He goes, they look like a bunch of refugees from a Gorilla Love In. One of the great lines in a counterculture movie, Easy Rider. So if you want to check out a tune that really kind of shaped a big section of American music throughout the 70s into the 80s, YouTube, Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mother. Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mother. And, of course, Whiskey River, which, if you know Willie Nelson, you know that song. Okay? So we've kind of showed you two things today, music-wise. Simon and Garfunkel capturing the baby boom generation just beginning to come into its own. And then just a few short years later, that section of the baby boom that kind of felt left behind by the Simon and Garfunkel section of our Simon and Garfunkel did not speak to young guys and girls in places like Jefferson County or outside of Memphis, Tennessee, or outside of Little Rock, Arkansas, as much as Willie and Waylon would. We liked them. We liked them. We loved them, but we felt like, the thing with Simon and Garfunkel, and I loved Simon and Garfunkel, but Simon and Garfunkel reminded me of people that if I ended up at a party where Simon and Garfunkel and a bunch of friends were, that I would be kind of shunned a little bit because I was a little rough around the edges. Simon and Garfunkel was not music for people who were rough around the edges. For those of us who still were of a baby boom generation and coming to our own late 60s throughout the 70s, Some of us were rough around the edges. And even rednecks love singing along with the redneck mother, says Fred Scott. You damn right. It's one of the things that brought us together. It's one of the things that brought the hippies and the redneck together. Okay. The outlaw country music spoke to us. It spoke to us, those of us that were rough around the edges. Okay. And then one day, and for a long time, those of us that were rough on the edges felt kind of bad about it. Felt less than. And one day we went, God damn it, this is who we are. And we ain't going to be ashamed. And you don't be ashamed of who you are either. All right? So listen, we're going to wrap up for the day. I hope you enjoyed the show. I enjoyed doing it. I always enjoy doing it. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. for all of you. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your pals. There's something going on at 2 p.m. on their phone, okay? Where we talk about some great stuff, right? I think it's great stuff. Great reminiscing, man, with Mike Lawson today. Man. And seeing Kelly Wilson here, my first ever roommate when I had my first apartment. Great seeing him here. Everybody else, Fred Scott, Kevin Brown, everybody who joined in today. Sandy, Ed Easton, just a whole, too many of you to mention. All right, every day at 2 p.m. Tell people to tune in. I'll talk to you. You talk to me. And damn it, wash your hands. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. That's what this country needs.